say. Thank you. Luke, do you want to get us going, please?
Eddie, really, really tough afternoon and the result. You knew exactly what this game meant, and you come up with losing it again.
Yeah, very, very painful. Most of all, painful for our supporters. And they're the ones I think about now. I've got very little to sort of use as an excuse, and I don't want to go down that road. Never have. I never believed in that method. Once you haven't performed and you know the size of the game and you don't deliver, you expect to be criticised, and you understand why. So I understand the reaction at the end of the game. We haven't done our jobs well enough today, and we're desperately disappointed in ourselves. And yeah, I think we have to absorb it, and all we can do, the only thing we can do, is try and come back stronger from it.
But you sat here after the Brentford game, for you were quite emotional. How about questioning, yourself? How do you feel now about your own position and putting this right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm committed. I'm fully committed to the job. I'm disappointed in my delivery today and my delivery the last week. The Barcelona game was very tough. Today's even tougher. Yeah, I mean, I always, as I said after the Brentford game, absorb that blame myself. I don't look to deflect it anywhere else. Certainly won't deflect it to my players. I'll protect my players till my last breath. And yeah, I think that's how I look at it. It's going to be a tough, painful few days for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Lee Riley, then to Jordan Cronin, please.
Eddie, a lot of the fans' assessments are the sort of last half an hour and the goals, especially that Sunderland scored. There was a lot of unacceptable sort of challenges, and I don't know if it was down to fatigue or not. Where do you stand on that? Was it acceptable the way the goals were conceded?
I think whenever you concede goals, it's unacceptable. I don't think there's from my side, no one means to make a mistake, no one means to miss a tackle, no one means to not defend well in that moment. The lads know the size of the game, they know what's at stake, so they're trying their best. I can assure everybody of that, but we haven't got certain things right in those goals. I think there were two really poor goals to concede, both in the last actions and the bits before. And that's not been a one-off for us. We've defended poorly for a period of time, certainly since the turn of the year, and we're well aware of that. So, all we can do, as I said earlier, is return for the first time to the training pitch to try and rectify some of the errors.
Was it head loss, do you think, in the second half? Because the first half was fine. After the break, players just seemed to lose focus. I mean, that second goal, three players just pretty much standing still as he sweeps home at the second attempt. Yeah,
I don't think necessarily head loss. Of course, there'd be an element of frustration in what they're delivering. The players know that we weren't great in that second period. I thought our technical delivery was off today. I thought we missed our midfielders that would give us that control and that technical delivery. The Bruno, Louis Miley and Sandro, missing all three of those players, left us slightly unbalanced. And I think that was the main consequence of that poor technical delivery, was that we lost the control of the game that we had in that first half. Then the game became transitional. We're slightly fatigued, and then we look even more tired, and then we make more mistakes. So I think my first thought is to point at the technical delivery. We made the game sort of too much like they wanted it, and that didn't help us.
Jordan?
Yeah, just what needs to change after this, because I'm sure you'll agree that two Derby leads are seen as unacceptable in the fans' eyes.
What needs to change for long term or short term?
Yeah, in the short term, you come back with a passion.
I don't think we're too far away, personally. I think it's very easy to look at sort of all bad, but I don't think we're too far away. I think our recent form has been inconsistent. It's been patchy. I think it's been sort of patchy all season. We've had good bits, we've had bad bits. I felt all along that we've steadily got a bit better than we were early season. Probably the progress hasn't been as quick as I'd have wanted it to be. But some of the fixtures we've had, especially in recent weeks, has been unrelenting for us. The challenges that we faced have continually really stretched us, taken us to a place where we're right on the limit. And I think we could do with some a period of rest for the players and then some real training, and I think that will help us, and hopefully we'll see the effects of that in our remaining games. But certainly there has to be an upturn in our consistency. That has to improve.
It's a big issue this season being the getting into win position and losing like 22 points now, dropping in position, and that is a lot.
That's an incredible amount of points, and there's huge regret from us on that. And certainly from my side, there's no part of me that ever wants to take the lead and then to sit on a lead. The opposite, we want to go for more goals. That's always been in our psychology as coaching, to continue to attack, continue to be front foot. But we haven't been able to maintain that for whatever reason. We've become very passive and quite reactive, and we were again today, and it's a huge disappointment.
Okay, we've got quite a few to get through. We'll get through as many as we can. We'll start with Mark, go to Craig, and then Louise, please.
Eddie, really difficult at the end to hear the way the fans talk us through your emotions, hearing that it can't be.
No, you never want to go through that, but I think my first thought is to, as the leader of everything, is to front it up, absorb it, act like I would normally act in all moments, and I think that's really, really important for me. And I understand the criticism and expect it, and I've got no issue with it.
Okay, Craig.
Eddie, didn't have Sandra, it was a big call to put Nick in. Was there a slight change of shape with the 4-2-3-1, you would agree? How do you think that played out with Nick in there and the change in the midfield? You've already touched on it, really, a bit of an absence of control. Yeah,
I think we had to. We were running out of midfield options, so we had to change our shape to a degree. We went with Nick more as a 10 today. I thought there's some really good bits in that first half. Certainly not so much in the second half, where we seemed to lose control, hence why we made the changes that we did and the substitutions that we did to try and change the momentum of the game. But yeah, that was it. That was the thinking.
Louise?
Hi Eddie, do you think in combination with the fatigue, and because Sunderland sort of self-destructed in the 9th minute and they were desperately under strength, really weak Sunderland team, do you think that psychologically the players perhaps underestimated them a little bit?
No chance. We're not in a position to underestimate anybody. That wouldn't be in our makeup.
But sort of subconsciously?
No. We needed to put the game to bed. We needed to score more goals. We needed to continue to attack. There was no part of us that in any way ever thought that game was ours. We always, in the Premier League, we know the standard of the teams is so strong that you can never relax.
Thank you. George Holkin?
Hi Eddie, obviously Sunderland have had a very good season, but is there a kind of sense of embarrassment from you and the players about losing 6 points in the season?
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of emotions that go into it. It's a huge disappointment. We would be looking at those fixtures as 2 games that we had to win for obvious reasons. So to not achieve that is a massive disappointment in our season. There was 2 games that we really were looking forward to try and do our supporters justice and showcase us in a great way, and we failed to deliver that.
And the referee came over, the club have issued a statement about the accusation of racism. Can you say anything from your perspective?
Yeah, I don't know too much about it. All I'd say is we don't condone racism of any form, and the club will investigate.
Thank you. Martin Hardy?
The run of Sunderland victories in this game is unprecedented. How do you respond to suggesting that this football club doesn't understand what the fixture means?
Yeah, well, I can only speak from my side. In terms since I've been here, and certainly we understand. There's no issue with that in terms of the size of the fixture, the importance of the fixture, the preparation of the fixture. I can assure you that was all taken as seriously as any game we've had this season. We pride ourselves on doing that. We understand we haven't delivered in the 2 games. Take full accountability for that and absorb all the criticism. I don't know what else we can do really apart from that.
Thank you. Scott Wilson, and then to Dominic, please. Scott?
There's obviously still an awful lot to play for this season, Eddie, but does the last week kind of show the extent to which this is going to be a big summer for Newcastle, both in terms of plugging gaps that we can increasingly see within the squad, and also just making sure that the momentum isn't lost and this club continues to go forward?
Yeah, well, I think every transfer window is so important, and unfortunately for us, we've had some difficult windows. 5 of the last 6 we haven't been able to recruit in. The last summer was tough, to say the least. That was the hardest transfer window I've ever had. So, of course, we don't want to lose momentum in any way. We want to continue to bring the best players to the football club if we can, and we desperately don't want to lose our best players. So that combination's so important, but it does get harder and harder and more challenging for us because we don't have the revenues of the other clubs.
Dominic, to finish, please.
Just on that, Eddie, 12th in the table, has the project lost momentum, would you say?
I think the rules have made it very difficult for that momentum to go with the speed that it initially did. I don't know a way that we can beat that system. We have to follow the rules that are set. The club desperately want to be ambitious, but there's a limit to what we can spend, and that has a knock-on effect in everything that we do and the decisions that we've made previously. As I say, to not recruit for that many windows, I don't know a team that wouldn't suffer from that, and we certainly have. And then losing Alex last summer was a considerable blow. But again, we can't feel sorry for ourselves, and we can't use excuses. We have to find a way to be successful despite all of these things. But with that, I think there has to be an understanding of the tough conditions that we're working in.
Sunderland were in League One when the takeover happened, they're now above you in the table 4.5 years in. Is there maybe some recognition that that's unacceptable from a supporter's point of view?
Yeah, I don't know how many times I'd have to say that. So yeah, we as I said at the start, all we can do is accept the criticism. Whatever words you want to use, I'm not going to challenge them. We have to do better.
Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.